Hey guys, what's up? This is Josh, talking Chelsea, talking tactics. I was meant to do a review for yesterday's game, the one against Man United, but I just had some other things came up and I just couldn't find the time to do it. But I want to dive into it right now. I have six things that I would like to talk about. Six things. You see, guys, like I've been telling you guys since last year that we have a midfield problem. I've been telling guys since last year we have a major midfield problem. We conceded 54 goals in the EPL last year. And so many of those goals, the blames were on the defenders. But I'm telling you, like so many of the things happening in Chelsea in our gameplay, our structure lies in our midfield. And so many people are just not seeing it. So I'm gonna start off with the midfield. So we played a 3-4-3 sort of formation. And the lineup was just terrible. From the jump, the lineup was terrible. Why was the lineup terrible? I'll tell you why. So Pulisic is on the left. Thank God for that. Good positioning. Kai Havertz is on the right. We know, we know Kai Havertz is not good on the right. He's played there before. He's had problems playing on the right. Guess what? We have wingers on the bench. We have ZIYECH on the bench. ZIYECH may not be fit. He may not be totally fit. Let him start. Sky Havertz is on the right. Let ZIYECH has actually played that position for Ajax and he's played well. Let him play. Hudson-Odoi, I don't want to keep beating the same dead horse. I don't want to start this stuff over and over and over again. But you could actually play Hudson-Odoi. We paid about $72 million or 72 million pounds for Kai Havertz. And I cannot see one thing he did in that game that is worth 20 million. Nothing. And I'm not going to blame the kid. He's in the wrong position. The lineup was stupid, to be frank. The lineup was completely stupid. It's like we just went there with it's like we went into the game with we don't want to concede. We want to be safe. We just hope the guys up front do something. Because I don't see why you're going into the game with 7 defensive-minded players. 7. And then Pulisic is going to attack. And Kai Havertz to probably do something and Werner will score. And if this worked, it would have been it would have been like a crazy setup, But two things were wrong with this kind of setup. You see, when a defensive-minded coach comes up with a setup like this, the players are strong defensively. We don't concede chances to Man United. Guess what? They had 4 shots on target. 4. In fact, the man of the match is our goalkeeper. So if you tell me, oh, we went into the game, thank God we had a clean sheet. No, thank God we had a good goalkeeper. Because if we had Kepa with the same 7 defensive players in front of him, we'll probably have conceded. And that is what the problem is. You can't say, we had a good setup. The setup was bad. The setup was bad. We cannot have a setup. We cannot. Anytime you are a top team, right? Anytime you find a top team, worrying about what the other top team could do, there is a problem. So the lineup was completely stupid. Was utter nonsense. Why? Because we had better players on the bench, and we could come up with a better. We could come up with a better way to play Man United. Kai Havertz was on the right. Shouldn't happen because we have ZIYECH. I know I've been advocating for Hudson-Odoi. I believe he should be playing. Look, I believe Hudson-Odoi should be playing consistently. Why? Because ZIYECH was out, Pulisic was out, and you were playing, and Lampard was playing Mount on the wings. That shouldn't happen. The other thing is, I think he should be having some minutes. Why? Because he's a young player. He's 19. How do you develop a young player? by giving him minutes. Even if you can't give him a full game, give him 20 minutes. Give him 30 minutes. That's how you develop a young player. If you don't play him at all, if you're not going to play the young player at all, how do you want him to grow? It doesn't make any sense. We sold Jacob Musiala to Bayern Munich. He's had more minutes. He's 17. He's 17. He's had more minutes in the Bundesliga, more appearances than Hudson-Odoi. How does that make sense? He's 17. He scored when he came on yesterday. And he's 17, bro. 17. You know, that makes me, that's when we say like the team is being managed badly. People just come up with so many defenses. Like, oh, this is wrong, or this is no, you gotta give Lampard so much chances. I'm all for giving Lampard time. I'm all for giving Lampard chances. But I gotta call it out when he's doing something wrong. I want something to change. Either he changes or we change. We cannot keep going like this. Now, I talked about the midfield being wrong. Check this out. We played with Kovacic. He's sitting right in front of the back three. Then we played with Kante. Kante is not the kind of player who can run your midfield. He's not a playmaker. He's not an attacking midfielder. Best case scenario, he has the energy of a box-to-box midfielder. But up here, he's a defensive midfielder. He's defensive-minded. All he thinks about is getting the ball and getting the ball and getting the ball and running. Full stop. We are blessed with the fact that he's good in tight spaces and he could dribble, he could hold the ball, he could pass. But he's a world-class midfielder, but he's not a playmaker, much less an attacking midfielder. And we are expecting Kante to make passes that a Xavi Hernandez should be making or an Iniesta should be making. He's running our midfield. So we had a transition problem against Man United. You know, I told you we have 7 players defensive-minded, right? Chilwell, Jorginho, Kante, or Chilwell, Kante, Jorginho, Reece James. Both wide players are defensive, right? Then we have Aspilicueta, we have Thiago Silva, and then we have Kurt Zuma. 7 defensive-minded players, right? So when it comes to we winning the ball, Thiago Silva winning the ball, getting it to Zuma, Zuma gets it to Chilwell, they need an outlet. They need someone to take the ball forward. Jorginho can't do that. So when they give the ball to Jorginho, he spreads it to the guy on the right, spreads it to Reece James. Reece James can't beat his man. He comes back to Kante. Kante gets the ball, tries to do a dummy, dribbles past one guy or drives into the midfield, can't make a nice pass. He can't break the defense. Where's Kovacic? Where? How do you go into a midfield expecting to have we are expecting Paul Pogba to start. Someone on the caliber of Paul Pogba. Someone on the caliber of Fred, Bruno Fernandes. And you start Jorginho and Kante. To what? To defend. So who pushes the ball forward? So Pulisic had to drop back. Pulisic was everywhere. He had a great game, to be honest. But it's sad that he was playing on our side. If he was playing for Man United and they had Rashford, and this is what we are talking about. This is what I'm always talking about. We need our attacking players to work together. We need someone like Pulisic to have someone else like Werner on the side, with Giroud up front, someone to run with, someone to be on the same wavelength with, someone who runs with you, who you could actually release. Werner has already talked about how he can't, how he had tall defenders to play with against Brighton, right? How do you leave him all alone with the likes of Maguire, Lindelof, Fred? We've got just this guy who is not even tall enough. Chilwell, you're looking at Chilwell making crosses to him. We can't win headers. You're looking at Rich James making crosses to him. We're not going to win those headers. So the midfield was wrong because we had no transition. Players were out of position. Second, which is the second point, or which was my first anyway. Kai Havertz was playing on the right. We know he can't play on the right. So from the get-go, from the jump, the midfield is flat. Nobody to push the ball forward adequately. The wings, we had no wings. We had no presence on the wing because Kai Havertz didn't have enough room to do anything on the right. He's not a right winger. And Pulisic had to drop all the way away from left. He had to come to the center to drive and get the ball. So we have nobody penetrating from the left. We had nobody penetrating from the right. We had a bad game, bro. We had one shot on target. One. The whole game. So our players, like Callum Hudson-Odoi, is young players. They're not having game time. And when it comes time for substitution, you take away Timo Werner, you bring in Tammy Abraham. You take away Kai Havertz, you bring in Mason Mount. So Mason Mount again plays on the right. He's not a right winger. He's not a winger. Like, I don't know. I don't think Lampard is getting the best out of this team. I'm just gonna put it blunt. Like, I wanted Chilwell to start. Rich James probably also start. His crossings has been magnificent, and I think he had a great cross. Pulisic almost put in, but I think Maguire deflected it or something. You know, but we can't have a game set up for Rich James to get the ball, cross in, Chilwell get the ball, cross in. That's not how you play football. We have so many players that can actually play progressive attacking football. We are not a cross and nod. We're not a mid-table team. We can't play like a mid-table team. I don't feel like we are getting the best out of this team. And it's sad. It's really sad. Because Man United were all for the taking. Sevilla are all for the taking. They were all for the taking. They lost a game on the weekend before they met us. And I think they lost again on the weekend yesterday. So why can't we beat Sevilla? Why can't we defeat United? They lost 6-1 to Tottenham. These teams aren't even good enough. I checked our statistics on I checked our fixture list, right? In the last 10 games, we've won only 3. 3 games we've won, only 3. One of those games was the one against Barnsley. Competitive football, we've won only 2 games. One against Brighton, one against Crystal Palace. Every other thing has been bin. Liverpool, no. Arsenal, no. Man United, no. Tottenham, no. West Brom, no. Think about it, bro. Anytime we find a team that can attack, that can do anything, knock the ball together and attack, we have a problem. We have a big problem. We have Kovacic who can actually break lines. This will give room to Kante to run into dangerous areas and allow Jorginho to also have a midfield presence. And I said this, if we need to be defensive in midfield, we can actually play Christensen there. The guy is better on the ball than Jorginho. He's better on the ball when it comes to long passes, moving the ball forward. He's better on the ball than Jorginho. I can guarantee that. Jorginho is good, but Christensen is even better. And is probably even better defensively. I believe he is better defensively than Aspi and than Jorginho. I know sometimes it slips off, but that's the same that's like every other defender we have, they all slip off. Maybe it's not their fault. So we are not getting the best of our team. The midfield is, the lineup is crazy. We need to start getting the lineups right. We need to start getting our lineups right. The game is just utter shambles. Man United were there for the taking. They don't have great defenders. They have Lindelof and Maguire. All we needed to do was play a system that allows Werner have one of these defenders one-on-one. I would have been all for a 4-4-2-4 or a 4-4-2 or a 4-2-3-1. Anything that would allow Pulisic drive and be on and have a defender, a centre back right in front of him, or Kai Havertz right behind our striker, or ZIYECH on the right. Any of that could have worked out. Or guess what? Mason Mount in midfield. That would have been fine as well. Mason Mount in midfield would have been fine. Because Kai Havertz on the right was stupid. Mason Mount in midfield would be fine. Much better than having him on the wings. He can't shoot from the wings. He can't make those passes from the wings. He shoots from the center of the pitch. He makes those passes from the center of the pitch. Why do you have him on the wings? Why? We have Pulisic. We could play Pulisic, Mason Mount, and ZIYECH. If you want to play Mason Mount all the time, you could play him. I'm fine with it. Just don't play Kai Havertz in the center and then play Mason Mount on the left. It's like, it shouldn't even be this difficult. It shouldn't be this hard. We should have a plan. I don't think we have a plan when we play teams. I don't think we have a plan. We played Southampton. We were leading 2-0. They scored 1 goal. Their coach came up with a plan. They were going to be vicious. They overloaded the center midfield. What's our plan when we play against United and they bring in Paul Pogba and they bring in Paul Pogba and Cavani? What was our plan? Okay, they bring in Pogba and they take control of they already had control of the midfield, but now they have Pogba's creativity. What's our plan? Nothing. We bring in ZIYECH in the 81st minute. And I'm just saying this so that because of some of you that think, oh, it's a good thing we had it's a good thing we had a clean sheet. No. Our goalkeeper is the man of the match. They could have scored. Multiple occasions. And just to top it off, the idea of putting Czech in our Premier League team is really crazy. I don't know who came up with that idea, but it's really crazy. It makes no sense. The reason is on our board right now was because Arsenal were done with him. Was because he wasn't good enough for Arsenal. So they went out and they got themselves Bernard Leno and they have Martinez and they kicked out Czech. That was years ago. So now we have Kepa, we have Caballero, we have Mendy, and you think it makes sense to bring in someone who is about 40 years old, who wears a headgear to keep for us. Bro, I'm done, bro. I'm done. So just, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you think was wrong with the game. We play Krasnodar in the weekend. Krasnodar are a very good team when it comes to attacking. They are very good. And I think we are lacking confidence. The team is really lacking confidence. We need to go out there and win a game. We need to like do something massive. We are lacking confidence in the, it's like we were high and flying against Southampton, but they scored one goal and we just had to tuck in our tails. We really need to like announce ourselves. We need a big win. We need a consistent win. We need 3 wins or something. And if you're not going to play Hudson Odoi, loan him. Loan the kid in January. Because it makes no sense. He's not doing us any favor as a club to watch his value depreciate on the bench. It's not doing the coach any favors having a winger who is supposedly good, who's got great potential, who came back from an injury. Before he had the injury, it was almost starting. This we don't have Hazard anymore. We don't have Willian anymore. I don't see why he shouldn't be playing games. And if you're not going to play him, go for a winger. Loan him out. If you're going to play Mason Mount, let's play him in midfield. If we had Mount, Kante, Jorginho, we would have been more dangerous against Man United. We would have been far more dangerous. So like I just want to like just put this out there, bro. Just like, you guys let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel, and let's just get into it. All right.